Welcome to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on YouTube at the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, and of course on Roku via the BS3 Network. If you have Roku, download BS3, get the app. If not, you can go to BS3TVLive.com or BS3Network.com. I am, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. And joining me this hour and right on time, I'm just about to give him an intro and build him up and all those great things, is head coach Johnny Jones from Texas Southern Men's Basketball. We'll get right into it once I figure this thing out here. Coach Jones is going to learn when we have our discussion on this new platform. I'm going to try to bring him in as smoothly as I can. So let me do this and then bring him in. Oh no. Yeah, here we go. Coach Jones.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
All those new toys you got, you're still learning them, huh?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm still learning. Never too old to learn. No. And thank you for doing this, of course. We're going to talk some TSU men's basketball, the season, 25-26 season. I did pull up some information on the Tigers here. Check this out, Coach. Another new toy.
Okay.
Okay. You see how you move to this? Look at that. Yeah. All right. So I got most of the roster, and I had questions about, I think, one or two players. A lot of these guys I saw on Instagram. Well, no. I saw most of these guys listed on the TSU website.
Okay.
And then I went to, because I remember about Josh Apagwa committing back in April?
Yes.
But I didn't see him on the website. So I listed him. Is he on the roster?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He's here, and he's had an opportunity to come in and work out with us during the summer. And couldn't be more excited about the big fella, man. He adds a certain dimension to our team we haven't had in the past since I've been here. So big Josh Apogwa is he's going to be exciting one for you to watch and cover for sure.
And I did have a question about, I guess.
Close that for me, please.
A mystery player,
Uh-huh.
Jordan Gorecki.
Right.
Is he on the roster?
Yes, he is. Yes,
okay.
He is. Jordan, I see how you have him listed here. And Jordan's probably about 6'10", 265, 270. And again, he and Josh Apogwa are a lot alike in terms of size, strength, and being mobile, big guys. And Jordan was coming from Canada and played in junior college last time he really played. And did a tremendous job. Sit out last year, and again, been here during the summer, and couldn't be more excited about his presence with our program.
And let me acknowledge one of the loyal supporters of the Houston Roundball Review and everything that I do and my colleagues do, Miss Wanda Polk. So I wanted to share her message with you as well as the audience here watching on YouTube and on Roku. Coach, you touched on it about Jordan. He sat out last year from Canada. What's the story behind him? How did you or your staff find that big fella?
Well, I'll tell you, it's kind of interesting. I have a new staff now, and we've hired a new coach since last year when Josh White wound up leaving and going to ULL, University of Lafayette, in Louisiana, there with his brother. And so I was able to hire Coach Otis Hughley from Alabama A&M. And it was a young man, Jordan Gorecki is a young man that he had been recruiting to go there at Alabama A&M. So when he came on board with us, we quickly was able to garnish the young man's attention. Brought him in for a visit. He fell in love like most people do when he got here, and we were able to show him around, and excited that we were going to have his services. But that's how we were able to find him. But I think in junior college he had over 100 blocks one season, and so he's a great rim protector and can score the ball down low, extremely strong, very aggressive at the basket, and have a lot of real positive traits for us. So that was a great assist from Coach Hughley right off the bat after being able to hire him here at Texas Southern.
Now, what we're looking at right now, I see 11 players. Is the roster complete? Are you done? You going to add anybody else?
No, roster's complete. I'm trying to see who else you don't have. One of the young men that is back in our program right now is Alex Anderson, who played for us a year ago.
Okay.
And right before conference play, he was no longer with us, and so he's back in the program this year. So, and I think you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you have 11 guys on there. I think one of the ones that you're missing is LJ Andrews, the high school young
Okay.
from Bel Air High School.
Oh yeah, I remember. Duh.
Yeah,
I retweeted and reposted this stuff on Instagram. Yeah, I
right,
forgot about him.
right,
Yeah.
right. So
Yep.
he would be one of the additions on here as well. And again, we are really thrilled and excited about LJ because it's hard to get high school kids these days, and especially one the caliber player that he is. He's one of the top high school players in the city. With best high school teams lost the championship game this past year, and he was a real key component of that basketball team last year. So we couldn't be more excited. And then I think the other young man is Troy Humstead that you don't have on there. And Troy's about 6'7". He was defensive player of the year in the I think it was the MEAC
Okay.
years ago. Transferred to UT Arlington. Didn't have a great year last year, but he has all the potential, all the tools in the right system and the right program, and we think that we offer that to him. The way that we play, our style of play, one on the defensive end, offensively, how we will be able to utilize him as well. So those are the two names that you didn't have down as scholarship guys.
Okay.
And so with the addition, and again, then we'll add that would get us to 13, and then Alex Anderson will get us to 14 players on the roster, and so that's how our team will be completed, making out this roster. And then we have two additional guys that'll be walking on next year. We have a kid, Cam Patterson, transferring back from San Jose State. Was a local kid, and Cam was a really good player, probably about 6'5", 6'6", sophomore, crafty, good player. And then Jordan Hamilton be joining us. He's originally from Memphis, and Jordan's probably about 6'5", another guard. So we feel like this team, and I'll tell you, Kris, it's probably have more depth
Mhm.
than we've had since I've been here, which gives me a reason to be extremely excited.
And you got a veteran squad too, Coach.
We do. We do.
So
We might be older than the Rockets right now. So.
at well, the new age Rockets, you only got 4 or 5 youngsters that
Right.
but everybody else is getting old. But
Right.
so is it intentional now to have more of a veteran squad for this year's team?
Well, I'll tell you what happens. I think with the new rules and the landscape of college basketball now, it's different. And so if we can bring in seasoned players, guys that have played Division I basketball, experience, and we feel really that they'll fit into our system, yes. So we would go with more of the older guys because we know what they're capable of bringing. They've been through the wars, they've been battle tested, and it certainly helps. And then when we've got guys in our program, several of the guys, when you talk about Kobe, Granger, and who is it, Keelan, Farouk, and those guys are all returners.
Mhm.
And Josh Former. So these guys have been in our program and have become seniors, along with Uno Caresi, as well as Zaire Terrius Multi. So a lot of those guys were in our program a year ago. It's not like we had to go out and sign a lot of those guys. We were returning a lot, and they just happened to be seniors. And I think it's a good thing because I know a lot of these guys got experience playing in our program, and understand our system, and that's certainly going to be able to help us as well.
Coach, I'll be honest with you. When I saw Zai play as a freshman, I didn't believe you guys keep him
Yeah,
as a senior. He looked so good at freshman year and so talented. I was like, oh, Tiger's gonna lose him to somebody else. NIL gonna come take him away.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I tell people all the time, and some people don't know. We look at his physique, how strong, how powerful he is. You watch him on the floor, how explosive he is. He can really run. What people don't realize is Zai really just started playing basketball probably about the 9th or 10th grade. He
Wow.
was more of a football guy.
Okay.
He was on the football side. Then he was being recruited by a lot of Division I, Power Five football teams as well. But he chose and decided he wanted to really just concentrate and focus on basketball. And he's still learning the game. I can tell you this: he's learning it, but he's extremely passionate about it. He loves it. He's working out all the time. And we felt like toward the end of last year, and then as I went through some injuries as well,
Mhm.
and was slowed down a little bit last year. But we thought at the end of last year he was kind of coming into his own, figuring it out, played some extended minutes for us. And we're hopeful that he can pick up where he left off last year. Because I'm going to tell you, he's got the ability to be someone that could be a difference maker for us because he's tenacious on the defensive end. He's tough on the offensive end, and when he can get it going, sometime he gets himself speeded up a little bit. And now he's kind of understanding the pace that he needs to play at, when to, when not to. And we thought he did a much better job of that toward the end of last year. And we hope there's a carryover for him.
And I'm glad you corrected me and reminded me about LJ Andrews because his mom reached out to me to let me know that he was committing and signing with TSU.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, she mentioned to me that LJ was a late comer to basketball. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, he is. I'm not sure as familiar with his story as I am Zai's, but I can tell you when I found out, when one of the coaches, Coach Chapman, came to me and told me he thought we had a chance with LJ. I mean, I was shocked because obviously he had a kid who was All American on his team that had
Mhm.
signed with Duke, and he's since I think
Transferred to Miami.
yeah, he's going
Yeah.
to Miami now with John Lucas's son Jay, and going to play for him. So those are the things that happened. And when LJ, we found out because we knew he was being recruited, extremely talented. And if I'm not sure when he started playing, but you're talking about a guy who's extremely skilled. One of the things that caught my eye with him is his basketball IQ. Watching him in high school, the way that he played off of other guys, picking his spots, picking his moments out there on the floor when he was playing with those guys offensively, defensively. And he's come in and had a chance to work out with our guys a little bit this summer. And that he's been fun to be around. And he's got tremendous size. I mean, he's got a college ready body right now. So LJ is going to be one of those guys. If we can keep him around for a couple of years, it can really be special for us.
Discussing it, you got 14 guys on roster scholarship. You got
No, 13.
13 on
Yeah,
scholarship. And
we can have 15, but we only have 13 scholarships. And we are pushing a little bit this year to about 16, 17 guys, but we're eventually going to have to cut back because the new rule is you can have 15 scholarships,
Mhm.
and they're cutting back, unfortunately, with the walk-ons and all the other stuff. So now, because we only have 13 scholarships to award to young men, we're going to still be able to have two additional people out there, which we will be able to carry a 15-man roster. But this year, we'll probably have 16 people on our roster.
with that change, roster changes, just more how challenging is that in this really first year of new changes in athletics?
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's different, but obviously we've got to understand what we're doing and what we have available to us, and then make the best of it. And so since we're awarded 13, we've got to make sure that we're doing a tremendous job of getting the best 13 or putting the best group of guys like we always have together into our program. It would be great if you can have the additional two scholarships to use, maybe bring some young guys in, sit them a year, possibly redshirt them, get them ready because of how tough the turnstile is now of people leaving out of the program with the way that the rules are now with the transfers and guys coming in. It'd be great if you could bring young guys in and then bring them through the program that your fan base have an opportunity to get used to and being around, like the Kobe's, like the Keelans, like Zyterius Moulton, that group of guys. But unfortunately, our scholarship numbers don't lend to that right now. And we'll do the best, obviously, that we can with it.
How is NIL impacting you guys?
Well, it's tough. It's different, and we've got to do a much better job of being proactive and creative in terms of ways to try to combat this NIL deal. It's a little bit different, and and the resources are certainly needed, and we've got to try to make sure that we can venture out and create that, so our kids and our program is not left behind. Because it's hard to when you've been ahead and you get behind, it's hard to play catch up. And this program is too important at the end of the day, and there's too much going on. And we're in a vibrant city, great institution academically, and we've just got to figure out how we can be more resourceful to create some avenues for our people. And it's not so much NIL; it's revenue sharing now that the campus can do, you can do from the school. So the NIL portion of it generally was the popularity of the particular player and can go out and generate some interest. And because of their social media following and all those things. So the NCAA has changed that a little bit. Now they're allowing the school, the actual school, to be able to help fund and do the profit sharing with their student athletes. And if we can do raise our level in doing a much better job with where we are, I think it can make us keep us competitive at the end of the day. But again, that's being proactive in being creative in terms of what we need to do. And the thing is, it's a forever moving. They continue to move the goalposts,
Mm-hmm.
forever changing, and but we've got to have the wherewithal to keep up because we know that our fan base love our program, and we certainly don't want to fall behind in not be as competitive because of the lack thereof. Because these kids understand what's out there now, what's important to them, and I think one of the main things people unfortunately not trying to figure out where they can go and get their education when they're going to graduate and how many games they're going to win. It's almost how much am I going to get, when I come to your school. And so the conversation is a little bit different at the same time, but our conversation is going to remain consistent. You're going to come in, you got a chance to win, you got a chance to receive your degree, you're going to be held accountable academically and all those things. And at the end of the day, we hope you have a chance to cut down some nets as well. But we want to make sure we remain attractive and competitive in a competitive spirit, not only just in our conference, but especially with schools that we feel that are compatible to us in our conference.
Have you been, excuse me, have you been notified what percentage of revenue sharing the men's team is going to get?
Well, we've had an opportunity. They've broken things down, and they're doing a decent number for several of the sports now. We get better, obviously, in years to come. Because it's new, they were able to put some numbers out there that will help. I know men's basketball and baseball and football. I think women's basketball right now, and I think some of the other sports are learning, but it's kind of tiered and kind of broken down a little bit now, and it should get better in years to come. But I think the most important thing is making sure that everybody that's involved is educated about exactly what's going on, what's needed, and the approach and what it has to be. And again, when on the creative side, is utilizing some other vehicles to make those things happen. And then being able to reach out to certain individuals or companies or wherever to see if they can pour back into our program and be able to help us that way as well.
I'm going to bring up the slide about the non-conference schedule in just a second. But with these changes in the college landscape, especially Division One, FBS, FCS, whatever, your role, your duties, you're getting more stuff added to your plate. What has been feedback for you when you go out to corporations, saying, hey, this is where things are now, and we need your help. We need more from you this season. How's that going for you?
Well, it's a little bit difficult because they don't know what they don't know, and they don't understand. But it's like anything else; you just have to keep knocking on doors in developing relationships that are out there, because this thing's not on cruise control. It's absolutely work every day, and a lot of times people trying to figure out exactly what they're investing in and why. And it's certainly programs, and obviously people at the Power Five level, where the autonomy four, where they've got to spend 20.5 million or whatever a year amongst the sports that are on their campus. It's different because that's already front loaded in, and they're getting that from the conference share one and from the university as a whole. So they have that to work with. Unfortunately, schools at our level don't have that ability, so you have to be a little bit more creative in terms of how you're going to go out, fundraise it, especially if it's not coming in from, say, certain groups. And I use, say, for instance, for example, say the Tiger Club or
Mm-hmm.
whatever programs you may have, the rebounders or you name it. If they're not able to generate and help that way, how is it that we can do as a basketball team program? What is it we can put on? People that we can attract and folks we're able to bring in to make that difference. But to answer your question, it's extremely tough out there, and the people that you have to touch to try to make those things happen. And you can't think you can just stand on the sideline, win games, and it's just going to happen. You have to really put on a different hat and go out there and touch people and ask and try to be creative. But the people around you have to have that ability to be able to do that as well.
Is that frustrating for you? You've been in basketball a long time, and there's some coaches who have retired because of this new. It's not coaching; they're doing, it's more off-court stuff than coaching, and they've retired and stepped away from the game. Have you got to that point? Are you getting to that point? Have you thought about it like that?
Well, I think when those guys retired, I'm sure you're speaking of the Jay Wrights, who was at Villanova, and the Krzyzewski. Some people think that was one of the reasons he stepped away, or Roy Williams at North Carolina, and you name it, the guy of Virginia. You can just kind of go down the line of some guys that are Power Five schools because of the landscape and the way that things changed and what was being brought into basketball and how the landscape has changed. My deal is it's still coaching at the end of the day. It's just the added features that's to it. And those things are important. And you just have to decide which one to. I want what's best for the young men in our program. I want what's best for the program. But you have to make sure that all hands are on deck in this. It's not going to be operated just by our basketball program. It's going to have to be a broader net in terms of what really have to happen and what have to transpire. Athletic department as a whole, university, everybody have to be in and to make sure that we understand the magnitude of what's really going on out there and how it's happening before your program to be able to maintain and not keep pace and just stay afloat. You really want to be ahead. I like to, when I bring kids in, I tell them, if you're looking at banners and championships and creating and playing at a high level, you want to be the person or the team or program that's setting the mark, not following somebody else. And so I just want to make sure that we're able to be the best that we can be at the highest level that we can here. And again, this place is too great. We're in a wonderful city, great university, great academic institution. We just don't want to fall behind with anyone in terms of what we're doing. But it's different. But I'm still excited about rolling up my sleeves and doing whatever it takes to be competitive. Because if we can create those opportunities for these young men, I want to. I like to.
All right, now we'll get into, as I move the slide here, to the schedule, non-conference schedule. That's a challenging schedule there, Coach. Non-conference. You start the season at Gonzaga, but what are your thoughts? What was the thought process behind putting together this non-conference schedule?
Well, I tell you, it's no different really than previous years. We always play a challenging schedule one because it's one how we're trying to generate funds and in terms of helping with our budget. But our guys are excited about it. We like playing tough teams, and we're thrilled that Texas A&M is back on our schedule. Now it's right down the street. It's going to give our fan base an opportunity to come down and catch that game against a very tough opponent. The Gonzaga game, obviously, just started off the season one of the toughest teams in the country. That's obviously a big deal for us. Now, the Texas A&M game, I need to make sure that date is November 6th now.
Okay.
7th.
November 6th. All right.
Oh, yeah. So you listen, audience, so I have an opportunity. I understand that that's been moved a day up.
Okay.
Of course, Sanford game returning along with I think it's who is it? We've got Sanford and Sam Houston State will be coming here to play as well.
Okay.
They'll be here on 12/6.
Okay.
Game will be on the 6th of December.
Okay.
So we'll have 5 home games prior to the season starting, and that's something that's new.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of home games for us, and we're excited about it. And it's going to give our fan base an opportunity to become familiar with our team prior to January, which usually is when our first conference games start. So that's going to help us. So with that lineup of having Sanford along with Sam Houston State, CBS, which is College of Biblical Studies, Abilene Christian, and Houston Tillotson. Those are 5 good home games for us. But we look forward to going to Gonzaga, Texas A&M, North Carolina State, Minnesota, Vanderbilt. Those are really, really good teams, but it's going to really prepare us for the grueling conference schedule. We feel like the conference is probably going to be as good as it's been in several years because of the top-tier talent and the really good coaches that we have in our league.
Few more things. One, a little birdie told me this today, probably within the last hour and change. I mentioned it to this person, I'm going to have Coach Johnny Jones as a guest on today's show. Person said, "Oh, Johnny Jones from DeRidder, Louisiana, DeRidder Dragons." I was like, "Oh, is that right?" So, just your thoughts on that, Coach?
On
being from DeRidder.
Oh man, I tell you, I'm blessed by the best. We come from a little small city, one high school, small town where everybody knew everybody. Yeah, but I tell you, it was part of my upbringing, and I'm glad that I was able to be reared in a close knit town like that, where people really cared about you. And you could really do a lot of things. Wasn't a whole lot of things you had to really worry about. And coming up, you knew who your friends were. They were close knit. You had the one high school there, so everybody was together. You could create some friends for a lifetime, which you do. Up until this past year, I still have a close knit of high school teammates that we would meet in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and guys would come from all over to meet with my old high school coach at the first weekend in August. And we've been doing that for several years. And unfortunately, my high school coach passed away last year. but the group still met. Unfortunately, I couldn't meet this year. I had to attend the funeral on Saturday, and I wasn't able to join our crew. But that's why I think relationships are learned. That's where my growth hit. That's why I became really close with a lot of basketball guys who were older than me. Mike Sanders, who went on to play at UCLA, he was on my high school team. He was old, 2 years older. Dave Simmons, who went on to play at Louisiana Tech, became a head coach at McNeese for a long time. And I developed those type of relationships with those guys that I think helped mold me as a basketball player, and as a person, and coming from a small town, making sure that we had our priorities in order at the end of the day. And so I'm glad and thankful. And I don't know who it was that you saw from DeRidder, but if they from DeRidder have been around there, you know about DeRidder, you got to be a good person.
Indeed, indeed. A few more things with you as we wrap it up with you, Coach Jones. It's always, I appreciate you taking time to join me on the show.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on SWAC TV?
I enjoy it. I think they do a tremendous job. You have to say, Dr. Charles McClellan has done a tremendous job from the day that he stepped foot in that office of creating opportunities and doing everything that he can to enhance our program and to showcase it and then put it on, making us a marquee program. He's touched it in every way, and from the TV to the games to moving the tournament to the way that he's run the tournament, to games that he's created for teams. It's been amazing, and the way that you're treated at the tournament. So, and that's not only for basketball, but for football things as well. So, kudos and everything to Dr. McClellan, who's done an incredible job. So, for him to have a network for our teams to be playing on and for our conference is going to be tremendous. And I couldn't be more excited.
What goals have you set for this season for you and the team?
Winning. It's always the main goal is winning with this team, and it's obviously going to be a challenge for us. But our goal is always to try to make sure that we understand we want to be the best that we possibly can be. One, the guys got to be the best version of themselves, and if they can get to that point, chemistry is always a major component of what you have to do to try to win. To make sure that you're a close knit group, and the closer and the quicker you can have your chemistry and get your chemistry together, some special things have a chance to happen for you. But obviously, we take one game at a time. But I want us to be the best we can possibly be, and I think we have a core of guys that's capable of doing that. So our goal is always to try to cut down those nets. And at the end of the year, I come in here in May, watch our guys walk across that stage with their degree in hand when their name's called, making sure that they graduate. And if we can do those two things, one, we've accomplished a lot, because we always talk about guys coming through this program, growing academically, athletically, socially, and spiritually. And if they can do those four things, I can raise my hand up and keep my head high. And at night, I can lay my head down comfortably, knowing that we're accomplishing some major goals for some great young men that we think there's going to be a major impact in their communities wherever they go to live because they've passed our program.
Coach, with a veteran laden squad and a lot of returning players who've been in the program for a few years, does that make it easier to coach and not have to go over new things so many times early on in practice?
Well, I'm an old teacher, so I always try to start in giving it our base, just like they don't know. And hope what happens is you can move along quicker because of the fact, but always start with their base every year, and as though that they don't know. So the young guys that are in there, they're learning, catching up. The good thing about it, when you have veterans, you can move along quicker because of the fact that they can share with the new guys that are there exactly what we're doing, so we can get through things a little bit quicker. But don't change, kind of have a regimen that we go through. But it's great having a veteran team, like when you're working out, because when you do jumping drills, those guys is not a whole lot of teaching that have to go on. They can really jump right into it. A lot of our gear, uh, things that we do in our breakdown drills is geared toward what we do defensively or offensively. So it kind of coincides with our philosophy of what we're doing.
One last thing for you, Coach Johnny Jones. What's your message to Tiger Nation for this coming season?
I tell you what, you better come out and see us. One, you got to get your season tickets. Make sure that you buy your season tickets and get those. And we've got 5 home games prior to conference season starting. Come out and see your Tigers. Come out and support us. And we really look forward to you being there because they're difference makers. At the end of the day, we can put together a great team, but we want to remain a tough place to play. And people talk about coming in this H&P arena, how tough it is to come in here, and it's because of our fan base, the way that they react and the way that they come out and support us. We need them and look forward to seeing them this coming season.
Thank you, Coach. I want to share this message with you from Ms. Wanda as well. She wish you have an amazing season.
Ms. Polk, I certainly appreciate it, and thank you so much and appreciate your support, and thanks for being a Tiger fan.
Coach Johnny Jones, as always, thank you for taking time to join me on the show. Thank you for answering my messages. I appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing you this season. And I'll always do my part to promote and cover TSU, just like all the other H-Town teams.
Well, Kris, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you, and you do an amazing job of helping and keeping us in the spotlight and putting our program out there. Can't thank you enough. And, if there's anything we can do, don't hesitate to call on us. But we certainly appreciate your time and thank you for having us on. And go Tigers.
My pleasure, Coach. You take care.
Thanks, Kris.
All right. It's always good to have a guest. I love talking to guests. That's one of the things I enjoy most about podcasting, whether it's recorded or live. I want to acknowledge this as you are watching today's edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming live, of course, on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, as well as on Roku via the BS3 Network. Little past the bottom of the hour, so it's time to play the promo for BS3 to give you a better idea of what BS3 TV is all about. And then I'll be back in 90 seconds after that to wrap up the show and share some new info and insight on some new things with the Roundball Review, as well as some things regarding my alma mater, the Houston Cougars. You're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break on YouTube and on Roku via the BS3 Network. Be back in 90 seconds.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E. I'm, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. You're watching on YouTube on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, or if you're watching on Roku via the BS3 Network. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy the conversation with Johnny Jones, head coach of TSU men's basketball. I hope to speak with women's head coach, Coach Vernette Skeet, some point this month. I have probably within the next few days, I'll be speaking with Prairie View A&M women's hoops head coach Ty Dillard Mouton, UH women's hoops head coach Matthew Mitchell as well this month, and Rice's head coach, both of them, men and women as well. Coach Edmonds and Coach Lanier. Coach Rob Lanier and the Rice Owls men's team, I think, is the final day or two of their overseas trip to Europe. So I'd love to speak to him about how it went. But I want to show this comment or this statement from Tim K. Appreciate Tim K. Says Tim K just became a member. Tim K became a member, an all-world member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube membership section. Launched it last Saturday. So salute to Tim K for doing that. And part of that info, as I get to it, there are two tiers to it. Two tiers of membership. The All League tier for $2.99 per month gives you early access to new videos, as All League folks have already discovered. I did that, posted some content about the Coogs non-conference schedule, as well as the unofficial visit by big man Irfan Dion last Friday. The members saw it first, and then 48 hours I made that video available to the public. The all-world tier is $4.99 a month. In addition to the all-league perks, you get members-only YouTube shorts, members-only videos, members-only live streams. And in those members-only live streams, I will mention promotional perks available to the membership regarding perks from sponsors, supporters of the Houston Roundball Review. But if you're watching on your big screen, you can scan that QR code and it'll take you to the how to join and become a member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube membership section. Brand new, not quite a week old. So join that family, join the fun on that. And I try to post content, new content available just for you members every day. Speaking of the sponsors, I'm going to acknowledge the directory, the Houston Roundball Review Business Directory, saluting the sponsors, the African Center of Wellbeing, Bayou Beat, B Elite Basketball, Byron Riley CPA, the Pinto Leon Law Firm, Pruitt's in the Heights, Star Pizza working with me to provide some special things for the members of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube section. And so is the African Center of Wellbeing and probably Byron Riley CPA as well. But in addition to Star Pizza, Tejas Brewery, United Sports and Entertainment, VIP Realty, and the Saxenian family. So thank you to those sponsors. Looking for more? The annual price is less than $1 a week. And my platforms, my shows reach thousands of people on YouTube, on Roku, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Threads, on TikTok, on Spoutable, all of those. So less than $1 a week to reach thousands of people. Now, for some fun, but kind of business related as well. Check it out. Look at my models wearing the newly launched Once a Coog, Always a Coog t-shirts. Person on top is Queen Wanda Polk. She was the first person to order the shirt and model it, send me pictures of her wearing it. Person at the bottom is one of the sponsors of the Roundball Review, Dr. Maisha, and the African Center of Wellbeing. Once a Coog, always a Coog. You scan that QR code and order you a shirt. There are different colors available, not just the red shirt that they are wearing. There's even a light blue color and a black color for the once a Coog, always a Coog shirt. If you didn't know, if you're new to this show, I am a proud alum, proud graduate of the University of Houston, and I will always promote and tout my school on this show, typically first, but when Coach Jones joined the show on time, went to him first today. But I will always discuss the Cougs any chance I get on my platforms. The beauties of owning your own business. Speaking of the Cougs, Fan Fest for football. It's going to take place Sunday, August 17th, 5:30 p.m. at the Cougs Indoor Practice Facility. It's free to the public. The hour preceding it is for the, I guess, nice way to put it, supporters, friends of the program of football. But beginning at 5:30, I think it's going to be from 5:30 to 7:30. I believe that's correct. Fan Fest, free admission to the public. So come one, come all. Some goodies. You know how the Cougs do. We're doing a better job of fan-friendly events. So mark your calendars, Sunday, August 17th, 5:30 p.m. at the Cougs Indoor Practice Facility. Next, let me get to this. This was announced earlier this week. Of course, you already knew about the matchup between the Cougs and Florida State in men's basketball. I mentioned it, maybe 6 weeks ago. But the official press release announcing the event was announced this week. And I want to get to this, so let me get to the very beginning of it. The Houston Cougars men's basketball program will face Florida State inside Toyota Center on Saturday, December 6th. During the Houston Hoops Showdown, event organizers announced Wednesday. Game time and broadcasting network will be announced at a later date. Tickets for the game go on sale September 17th with a one-day pre-sale on September 16th. Fans can sign up to receive event news and be eligible for pre-sale access by visiting toyotacenter.com/hoops-showdown. The game will be the first meeting against the Seminoles on the hardwood since the Cougs took a 79-74 win during the Blue Bonnet Classic. That's a long time ago. Inside Hofheinz Pavilion on January 5th, 1974. I was 22 months old. Florida State posted a 17-15 record a year ago and tied for 8th in the ACC. Former Seminole student asset, Luke Laux begins his first season as the Seminoles head coach after working for the last 9 seasons in the NBA. Quote from head coach Kelvin Sampson of the Cougs: playing a team coming from a great conference like the ACC and with the great tradition that Florida State has during our non-conference schedule will be good for both programs. Early in the season, our team, especially with our new guys, will be in a pattern of growth like Florida State. This should be a really good game inside Toyota Center, end quote. From Coach Laux, quote from him: my goal as the head coach at Florida State is to win championships. He continues, that's my nature. I am a competitor. And that's how we are building our program. It's why I am so excited about playing Houston and Hall of Fame coach Kelvin Sampson in the Houston Hoops Showdown on December 6th. We aspire to reach the championship caliber standard that Coach Sampson and the Houston Cougars have achieved across every facet of their program, a testament to their relentless hard work and dedication. As a national powerhouse, Houston will push us to our limits and test our core principles as we gear up for the rest of our non-conference schedule and the always demanding ACC slate, end quote. So that Cougs Florida State game Saturday, December 6th inside Toyota Center is now official. As a member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube section, I've already provided details, a few more details about the Cougs' entire non-conference schedule. So if you sign up, you'll get that info. I will say this as we wrap up these closing moments of this edition of the Takeover. Still not official yet regarding the Cougs Arkansas men's basketball game in December. It is going to happen. It's still going to take place on the 20th. I have not changed. My source has not changed about the location. And it's not in Brooklyn. But as a member of the YouTube, you can find out more details about it, including the network, including the times mentioned for the game, the matchup, all those things. But it's amazing how long this has taken. But it's going to happen. Got to get those I's dotted, all those T's crossed. You know how it goes. One more thing. Rice women's basketball announced their non-conference schedule. So we have TSU men announced theirs. Rice women have announced theirs. Still waiting for the Cougs men's and women's basketball team to announce their non-conference schedules. But you can take a look at it. There's the slide, the picture of it. But here's a better view of it. Let me get this right here. Rice Isles women's team opens up at South Dakota State. I'm going to show this, Brother Al. It's a new feature for me. It popped up on my screen that I got a super chat. Brother Al, hi, colleague, a family member, part of the BS3 Network family. Thank you for that, brother. Appreciate that. Look forward to seeing you in Kansas City at the Big 12 Hoops Media Days, men's and women's hoops in October. Looking forward to both days of that. Rice Isles women's basketball, November 11th at Houston. There's a crosstown matchup between the Coogs and the Owls on women's side. November 15th, hosting Middle Tennessee. Always an NCAA caliber team. At Princeton on the 19th of November. At Missouri, got to change that out right there. Flip-flop at 17th and 19th. November 23rd, home versus Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word. Ooh, how about that? Former Rice Isles alum, Amber Cunningham, played at Rice. She's a graduate of Rice, is on that staff at Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word, first-year head coach, Jasmine Player from Bay City, Baylor alum, is head coach at Incarnate Word. Then, Illinois State on the 26th, Morgan State and UCF, 26th, 27th, 28th in an MTE. December 3rd, home versus Sam Houston. December 6th, home versus UNLV. December 12th, UT Arlington, head coach Sharika Wright. December 17th, I was surprised pleasantly to see this one on the road at Grambling. Rice women going to Grambling. So salute to Grambling for getting a team from the American to come to them. So that's a positive. And then wrapping up the Owls non-conference women's hoop schedule, December 20th, home against Houston Christian. I think that'll be about all the content I have today. Oh, no, let me squeeze this in. Want to squeeze this in. Last 5 minutes. NCAA D1 Board proposes additional units for basketball funds. The D1 Board of Directors on Tuesday introduced a proposal that would create 3 additional units in both the men's and women's basketball performance funds. If the measure is adopted, it will be, by member schools and conferences, each team participating in a championship game would receive one additional unit. So that means the team that advanced to the title game gets more money. The national champion will receive the final unit. The additional units would be awarded starting with the 2026 NCAA Division I men's and women's basketball championships, if approved, is expected to be. And when combined with the recently approved women's basketball distribution funds, the NCAA would distribute more than $191 million in new revenue distributions to Division I members over the next 7 years. Under the current unit structure in both men's and women's basketball, conference offices receive units for each game that one of their member schools participates in up until the Final Four. For automatic qualifiers in the first game, the first unit is distributed from the Equal Conference Distribution Fund. For at-large bids, the unit for the first game is from the Basketball Performance Fund. Every subsequent game in which a team competes, so you win, you advance, you earn another unit. So during the tournament, earns a unit for their conference from the Basketball Performance Fund. Units are distributed on a 6-year rolling basis in men's hoops and a 3-year rolling basis in women's hoops. The women's basketball distribution funds were approved by NCAA members in January and will begin distributions starting in 2026 based on team participation and performance during the 2025 tournament. Over the past 10 years in men's basketball, teams from 7 conferences would have earned additional units: the Atlantic Coast, Big East, Big 10, Big 12, Mountain West, Southeastern, and West Coast conferences. 6 conferences would have earned units in women's basketball during the same decade. The Big East Conference in particular would have benefited with an additional 8 units in each championship. Hello, UConn men's hoops and women's hoops. At the recommendation of the Division I Board of Directors Finance Committee, the board sponsored legislation to amend the revenue distribution formula to award the additional units. Because the 3 units per fund would constitute additional distributions to Division I schools each year, the NCAA Board of Governors will need to approve an allocation of association-wide dollars to cover the cost of the units without diluting the value of any current units. The Board of Governors is scheduled to meet today. NCAA rules require that any changes to revenue distribution within Division I be approved in a vote by all Division I members using a one school, one vote formula. If the additional allocation of funds is approved by the Board of Governors, Division I members are expected to move forward with a vote during the NCAA convention in January. It's going to be approved. I'd be just absolutely shocked if it's not approved. That'll do it, everyone, for today's edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. Thank you to, again, Tim K for becoming an all-world member of the newly launched Houston Roundball Review YouTube membership section. Members only content for you. Sign up. 2 tiers of it: All League and All World. Let me pull it up one more time so you can get that QR code. You can scan it real quickly. Scan it right there. Scan this code. But you get early access to new videos, photos, and status updates, loyalty badges, emojis, and then All World. You get those perks plus members only YouTube shorts, members only videos, members only live streams. So scan that QR code and become a member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube members only section. Thank you as always to Al, Michael King, Tim K, and of course Queen Wanda Polk for watching and tuning in and participating in the discussion. That'll do it. As always, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Everyone, take care. Peace.